Welcome. It's my familiar stomping ground here. Just a quick spring ride. I'm christening my new cleats, and it's too tight. Kind of hoping I don't. There it is. It flipped back on me. Hoping I don't have to make any adjustments here. But this is going to be a short ride. Beautiful day in Seattle. About I think it's 80 degrees, or at least feels like it. Probably in the 70s. They're forecasting 91 on Monday. This is a Saturday afternoon, approximately 3:45, and be a short one, be about 10 miles or so. Just wanted to check out some of the spots here for fishing. There's kind of a Salmon Bay cove here, a couple of miles out. I've never fished it, although many years ago, like in the 90s, when I was first got interested in fishing. One of my co-workers, when I was working for a dealership, I think it was Chad, can't remember. Anyway, we went out fishing along the banks of the Duwamish, and we caught salmon, a big one. And back then, I guess still today, the Duwamish was a pretty polluted body of water. So this area here to the left is the Duwamish River. The Green River is a tributary to it. And you've seen me bicycle through these parts before. And yeah, this is the Salmon Cove Park. I said Salmon Bay earlier, but it's Salmon Cove Park. I've seen many who parked along this road and fished these banks. I think they're going to open the season up in July or August. Little raggy road here. Trying to maneuver away from these potholes. Oh, I got a green light. Yay. Yeah, so this is this is the start of the Green River Trail here. Okay. Alright, at least I'm away from motorists and traffic. Trying to see if I can make it to Renton or Kent, or close to Renton anyway. Got my trusty Cannondale today, and GoPro 13. Hoping it'll be an uneventful ride. When you're in your 60s, man, you know, it's kind of hope for a safe ride any day of the year that you ride. There's a group of cyclists here coming up. See if they'll say hi. Oh, they did wave at me. That's good. Sure, maybe they're on their way home or just coming out. Okay, I'm gonna go underneath in an urban trail here. One of two bridges here. I'll be crossing over. That's the Green River down here. Feed into the Amish. I enjoy riding in the shade like this in the springtime, but sometimes I just can't see if there are any obstructions on the road or any of the ruts, like these yellow marked asphalt here. Man, that water looks so inviting. I'm pretty sure it's cold. The Puget Sound waters, it's the body of water that surrounds the Seattle area, even Western Washington. The Puget Sound typically averages 48 degrees year round. It doesn't really matter if it's 90 out. Yeah, so you gotta watch for hypothermia. Had a oh, there's a big bump. Had a really good lunch over at the Lemongrass in Renton. Trying to burn off some calories here. Then I wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been doing since kind of semi-retired, or at least kind of slowing down my pace instead of a hamster running on the wheel going nowhere. I'm starting to enjoy the things that I want to do, or the desires that I've had when I was working, or the lack thereof of a desire. The motivation that I didn't have time to do. So now this is one of them, of course. Bicycling in the sun. Just getting lost in your own thoughts as you hear the hum of your spokes or your chain as you kind of pump down on the crank and enjoy the scenery. I'm fortunate to live in the Western Washington area where there's a lot of things like this bike path. It's protected from motorists. Like walking path. So, aside from bicycling, also I've been enjoying little cooking and, you know, checking out some recipes online, YouTube. As an example, it's really corny, but oh, there's a pathway there. You know that? Check that out. Looks like there's a picnic field. Anyway, with any kind of corny, I had a craving maybe several weeks ago for bubble tea, and you know, bubble tea is really interesting. If I'm not mistaken, it started out in Taiwan or something, Asia, and it's so expensive, man. Even if you just get a regular bubble tea with just tapioca pearls, or even some lychee jelly, which I like. Such a dopamine rush when you suck on that nice cold tea, and the big straw kind of takes in that tapioca pearl, and you get to chew on it. Anyway, they're like $7 or $8 depending on the poison. Okay. Hoping no cars come through here. Alright, clear. So I saw a package of tapioca pearl at one of the Asian supermarkets. I think it's Watchmaya's one. And it was a brown sugar flavored tapioca, freeze-dried something, preserved in a clump. And you know, if you look on YouTube, it's so simple. Just boil water, dump it in there, stir it up, and to my right. And you know, then all you need to do is just pour, maybe not even tea. If you don't like it, if you don't like tea, I'd rather have milk. I put it on chocolate milk. And if you don't have a straw, you know, just a regular spoon will work. It's delicious. And again, it saves you like $8 a shot. Well, it's the same thing to be said about coffee instead of going to Starbucks. But anyway, it's just the enjoyment of experiencing something like that. Suddenly realizing that you can do it. That's, to me, kind of a simple reward. Oh, over here. And so that's number two, the cooking. You know, of course, as a Filipino American, Phil am, I enjoy cooking my sinigang, my adobo. You know, other dish like shrimp, mung beans, very healthy. I'll even do I just did some yakisoba last week, beef yakisoba, even some beef curry. As I'm eating, hey, one more time, squirrel. I'm eating less and less meat now. I have to admit, my partner, she is very health conscious. She's dragging me with her in a good way. Anyway, all right. This is the I think this is the Tukwila Commerce Park here. So that's number two. Number 3 is just catching up on some reading. I think I mentioned a while back, a year back or 2 years back, that I bought some books about Portugal. I was in Lisbon back in the early 2000s, and also France, in the UK. They were just Portugal on a cruise. And went on. But Lisbon impressed me. Something very similar to Manila. Back then it was still a little city. But then in 2022, I made a trip to Porto. It was beautiful. And I'd go back in a heartbeat. Yeah, Porto was so enjoyable. Beautiful town. And that was just when the Ukraine war started. USSR, Russia I should say. Russia and Ukraine conflict began. In fact, I was seriously thinking of maybe. Thank you. Living in Europe, Portugal. It's nice of him to announce he was on my left. I'm not going fast at all. Hello. So, yeah, anyway, I bought a couple of books about Portugal. I think one was entitled The Conquerors. Author's name is, it's a pretty brutal and harrowing account of how Portugal created a kind of an empire of the seas. By the way of obviously enslaving and using their slave labor fight against the Islam influence back then. Battles were won and lost. Ships were set afire, were sunk. Cannonballs. I almost envision in the description cannonballs ripping flesh and bone. Anyway, if you're interested in on your left, if you're interested in that type of history, books on I want to say Crowley. I think it's Crowley, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. And now I'm reading 4,000 Weeks. It's a book about making time to do the things that you really want to do. Because your time is short. Time waits for no one, as they say. I'm just glad that I've lived a semi-active semi-active lifestyle and living in a city that allows me to do that. The 4,000 Weeks is a very thought-provoking read. On my right, by the way, here is I-5. I'm heading south, but to my right here is northbound. And of course, 2026, the FIFA competition is going on. I think there's going to be some games here in Seattle, in addition to the Mariners and other sports. Anyway, yeah, so reading number 3. And then number 4 is just enjoying, just absolutely doing nothing. That's a job in itself. Like, I'm thinking about maybe just opening up my journal again. Journal and maybe writing my memoirs, man. Because tomorrow's never promised. Tomorrow is not a promise. So I'd like to leave something behind. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Alright, I think I'm clear here. Good. I'm coming up to Foster here. Foster Links. Played this course many times. It's kicked my butt. Pretty short course, but not that easy. And then number 5 for me is to piggyback on Portugal is to travel even more. I was in made a trip to Manila. I think it was in March this year. Also, for the first time, made it to Bangkok. Bangers, as they say. That's derogatory, I take that back. It's Bangkok. Bangkok is beautiful, and certainly still a viable option for retirement. That's something you want to do. So traveling is something that, you know, I think everybody yearns for a bit of adventure. And in fact, I'm doing one right now. You know, these are typically neighborhoods I normally take in. You know, when you're driving 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, typically just a blur. But if you bicycle, you can, as they say, stop and smell the roses in some of these neighborhoods. Casino, this is Casino Row coming up here. Anyway, the other thing that I've noticed with all the free time that I've got is my iPhone showing me that, hey, you've been spending a lot of time on your phone. Averaging about 5 hours. When it used to be like 3 hours or so. 3 hours and 45 minutes or little bit less than 4 hours back when I was working. So I don't know, who knows. Kind of hoping I can navigate through this with my cleats here. I don't want to run over this rocky area. I want to take a spill over there. Yeah. Not be fun. Okay. Yeah, so more phone time, more screen time, as they say. My phone, and that's kind of not good. Watching other people's lives instead of living life on your own. But who's to say? I'm on your left. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, that's just some of the things I wanted to do. And also, one thing I did was I fed. I'm guilty in using AI now. I fed my writing totals from June of last year to year to date. I think it was last month. And AI told me that most 62-year-olds don't ride as much as I do. As far as cycling, that makes sense. I think the fact that I got started just riding leisurely back in my 30s has paid me a lot of dividends, and I'm very thankful for that. I've had my fair share of crashes and falls, but all comes with the territory, and shouldn't deter you from riding. Run. Okay, I think I made it to the Renton playground here. In fact, I might check out this lake to sound trail later on here on my way back. I think I did that, and it ended up in near Des Moines Memorial Drive. Not sure. Can't remember anymore. That's the other thing I noticed is my memory isn't the best anymore. I used to have a photographic memory, but the years have caught up with me. Oh, I got traffic here. Kids riding around here on their own bikes. Parents watching their kids play soccer. Okay. Ooh. Several games going on. Take a squig here. Beautiful Saturday for this. It's a good idea. Umbrella stand there. beautiful day for the family. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it here. I think I've done about 4 to 5 miles. Oh, on your left, on your left. I was at that kid with glasses on, wasn't looking.